33 years ago, I went to the library, or 34 years ago, the library at Ohio University. The library is a place that has books. Big books. Books that you read and they have paper. And I was doing my job search because we didn't have personal computers. In fact, I took typing in high school. My mom was a teacher for 34 years. She taught administrative assistants. And she said the only class I had to take in high school was typing. And I said, why, Mom? She goes, he's going to pay for college. I'm like, college is that cheap? And honest to goodness, I typed people's papers my entire 4 years and made money for beer. College. Anyway, there was no way to look for jobs. And we didn't have career fairs. My degree's in interpersonal communications. There was no HR degree. There was a labor relations degree, and I didn't really quite understand what that was, so I went communications because I communicate, I was cool. So I went and grabbed a book called, get this, Companies That Are $1 Million or More. And I was like, this is awesome. $1 million? Are you kidding me? So I picked all of these places, brand names, and wrote them a letter on my typewriter. I sent out how many letters? This is not a Slido question, this is a me question.
67.
I sent out 200 letters. How many interviews did I get?
Two.
One. Now, I applied to places like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Levi, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Come on. Wouldn't you be a freak? It'd be so much fun. I got interviewed by a small company called Procter & Gamble. Now, again, we didn't have career fairs, so no one came to see us. So as I started my career, I went to the 10th largest company in the world, and I'm from a very small town, very, very small town, 2,500 people in my town, 73 people in my graduating class. I was valedictorian. Yes. My kids had 700 in their class, they're like, way to go. 73, ha ha ha. So what I didn't know back then was how unaware I was of who I am. Because I grew up at a time where the one thing was to get a job because you didn't want to live at home. In fact, my father, true story, I graduated, got to give the speech, all 73 people went, because it's only 73. Got done, and my dad grabbed me outside the gym, hugged me, which had never happened, told me he loved me, which had never happened, and he says, and now it's time to leave. And I go, like forever? He goes, yeah. Yeah, this whole I'm going to come home and live in the basement and work for a year? No, not happening. So I had the expectation that I was going to leave. Small town, not diverse, very rural. And I went to Ohio University, which I thought was the biggest place I had ever seen in my life. Graduated with 15,000 people. And met people I'd never heard of before. People from cities, people of different color, people of different ethnicities, international people. Had no idea what was going on. And that prepared me for the workforce. How much? Not a damn bit. Now here's a question. 1986 is when I started working at Procter & Gamble. You were allowed to wear 2 suit colors. What were they?
Blue.
No, blue and gray. And what color shirt?
White.
Or blue if you were a Democrat. No. If you don't know anything about Ohio University, we're kind of a liberal arts, just a little liberal arts, just a little. So I've never been a conformist, ever. Ever. I have all kinds of stories I'm going to tell you, but what's funny is a lot of people go into HR and in business to conform. We feel the more we conform, the more we control. The more we control, the better we're productive. Lie, 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 lie. So this was me going into Procter & Gamble. When they said meow, I was woofing. And just to proof you, what's this? Ah, see? No, it's Kleenex. okay? True story, first day, go to the management meeting because, I'm a college graduate. By the way, I was the first college graduate hired in the department. Every other person had worked their way up from the front line. No one told me this, by the way. I just met them. So I went into the meeting, they're introducing me, onboarding, this is fantastic. Onboarding, so they go around the room, no one says hi. And if you've never been to Cincinnati, we are the allergy capital of the world. And I have allergies, horrible allergies. So as I'm there for my first day, in my blue suit, with my white shirt, and my paisley tie, because paisley was cool then, my nose started running. And I go, may I have a Kleenex? There's 2 boxes on the table. No one moved. I went, okay. May I please have a Kleenex? And they go, no. And I went, is this hazing? Is it, first day ritual? And they go, I said, can I have a tissue? No. I go, what? They go, we make puffs. And those are puffs. I said, I'm going to blow snot all over this table. Hand me a puff. So they did. But that was my first example of assumed culture.
So they didn't do Kleenex in that?
No. Kimberly Clark has always done Kleenex. So they were like, you need to be brand aware. You need to be this. You need to be that. I'm like, I'm blowing snot out my nose. Thank you for that. And when I got it, I go, thank you for the Kleenex. They're like, troublemaker. It was so bad, true story, I went to work today one day in a yellow shirt with my blue suit, styling. What happened? I got written up for insubordination. And I went, they said, what's going on? And my boss, true story, sits there and goes, hey, what's your problem? I go, no. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't believe you did this. Don't you understand? I'm like, what is going on? Now, he was not a big person. I am a big person. So I stood up. And I go, what is going on? He goes, sit back down. You are a blatant disregard for rules. I can't believe you did this. Here's the write-up. You will sign it. I said, oh, no, I will not. Let me read it first. Insubordination for not following the dress code of Procter & Gamble. It was not in the dress code, but it was his dress code. Wore the yellow shirt, so the next day, what color shirt did I wear?
Yellow.
Pink. And I said, evidently can't wear yellow. Assumed culture kills companies. And yet we don't explain to new hires or people going into the field how bad assumed culture is. Something like everybody goes to lunch at. We all think, well, here's the potty, here's the this, there's the ping pong table. You don't need to go, don't talk to Bob till 10 because he's an idiot until 10. Don't do it. In a company, as an HR person, we should be the people who diffuse assumed culture. We have to break it out. But this is what we typically do. I watch some of you come up and see my table. And I love watching people walk by. Because some of you are like, that's cool, I want to steal that if he's not looking. Other people are like, what's this silliness? It's amazing. This is my office, by the way. It honestly is. I bring my office everywhere I speak. And this is all I could fit in my luggage. And my wife's like, do you need a bigger suitcase? I'm like, yes, I do. So my suitcase has 3 outfits, because I was here Saturday, and this. And I want to be in the TSA and have it go through and watch them go, I wonder what he does. HR. But what happens is this. When we have assumed culture, our employees come to work every day looking like this. Tied in a knot, more frustrated, more frustrated, more frustrated. But when you ask them what's going on, they're like, and I just found this at Xavier University, by the way. I just thought it was cool. It's a koozie that's supposed to hold pop, not beer. But inside we lie. We're like, how are things going? great. I said, can I steal this? Because inside we nod and lie. Do you know that? Who has ever been to a meeting and the meeting really happened afterwards?
Yes.
And what happens in the meeting afterwards? The CEO's like, are we on the same page? And you're like, yes. No. But you go, ha-ha! Yes, babe. Yes, boss. I'm on top of it. Inside you're like, you know this will kill us. But if I bring it up, I get yelled at. And if I get yelled at, then it goes on my performance review. If my performance review isn't done, I'm going to get a 2 instead of a 5, and I get, right? Listen to me. Our job is to do this so that people aren't as tied up and bound when they come to work. If you're not doing this, or if you're causing it, and you know how I know if you're causing it? Talk to other people what they say about us. How positive is it? Here's my favorite thing. Who here messes with people? I love the people who aren't going to participate. A few people in the back are like at an auction. If you're not messing with, who here likes to laugh? Like a few people, not raising my hand. I'll get you yet. Here's what's funny. We don't mess with people. We make sure that people do what? What's the first thing we want them to do? Well, yes, but come to, when, to do, and not talk about anything else. Oh my gosh! If you talk about your family or your personal life, what the heck? We're here to work. Work. Right? How many people do this? You walk into a place, if you're in HR, wait, if you're in HR, raise your hand. I love you. Oh wait, for those of you who aren't in HR, do you know people? Who here knows a person? Finance doesn't count. Everybody's in HR. Because we deal with humans. But what happens to us is we'll go to a place and they go, shh, it's HR. Right? And so what we do is go, if I could kill you right now, I swear, the cop would go, I'd kill him too. And so we just get all caught up. And so this is what I do. True story. I go, hey, someone's getting fired today. And they go, what? And all the purists in HR go, you can't do that. You can. Not in the rules, not against the law. You can do it all day. And then you go, I'm going to fire anybody who's got a vowel in their name. And you go, seriously? Oh, yeah. You got a vowel? No. But we don't. We're more worried about if they show up, if they're visible, if they're doing what we consider work, when inside we could be talking to them as people and treating them like people and having fun with them like people, or we can tell them that they're not going to get a Kleenex because they need a puff. Right? So you have to decide what you're going to do. I choose to do something different. How many people have heard the word, we're just in a silo? Okay? And do you say anything about it? No, but the people in the silo, you just complain all the time. You know, we hate the people in our silo. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is a real silo. I grew up on a farm. We put corn in it. Silo. Corporate silos, organizational silos exist. Why? We create them. Bureaucracy. Organization. Specialization. Lack of trust. There's a good one. Lack of trust. We complain about silos in every organization. Do we do anything about them? Except complain more about them. How does that work? How does that eliminate the silo? When I went to La Rosa's, I've been with La Rosa's for 13 years, and this is the longest I've ever been anywhere because I can't hold a job. My boss said this, I want you to draw HR. And I'm like, this is interesting. Now, a lot of people go, oh, that's stupid. This is some new age junk. Duh. So this is how I drew HR. I do on an Excel spreadsheet, I put HR, then I put operations, because we deal with operations the most. And then the call center, because we have a call center, where you can dial one number and get pizza. By the way, we sell pizza. We sell the best pizza ever. If you ever come to Cincinnati, I'll buy you pizza. We have the best pizza ever. Marketing, finance, IT, all the way down. So I drew all of them as pillars because in our organization, and we've only been around for 65 years, this is what we look like. Everybody had their place. You go to your office, you sit in your place, you deal with your people, you interact with people when? No. When I have to. We go, when I need you. No. It's when I have to, because you're like, I have to go to IT. I know. You know they don't talk to people or look you in the eye. I hate them all. You're like, that's not true, but you don't interact with people because you can. Or you have the opportunity to. So I drew all this, and all the arrows, I drew to HR. Now, why did I do that? What did it say? That's right. How many people in an organization go, I have to go to HR? Woohoo. Have a benefit question. Woohoo. Got to change my W4. Big strategic stuff. Big! So, since people had to come to HR, I drew all the arrows to us, but none of the arrows from us were going out to anywhere because that was the model. And that's the model that they built. And honestly, that's the model that's taught. Because we're told we're not supposed to be part of the organization, and yet we're supposed to be a business partner. We're not supposed to be strategic, and yet we're asked to be strategic. We're not supposed to be integrated, but just stay over here because you take care of the junk, the compliance stuff, the problems, the ugly stuff, because that's what HR is for. Makes you want to go into the field, doesn't it? Every day is awful. Yeah! Come on in. So he says, now I want you to draw it how it should be. So all I did was this. I took the first pillar and I turned it sideways. And I put it across every department. And there were no more arrows coming out of HR or going to HR because HR was in every department. And he says, well, how can this be? I said, which department has people? He says, all of them. I said, therefore, we should be there. So something I'd like to see you change as the next class coming out is, this is how HR should look. Intertwined. Wonderfully working with every part of the problem. Quick question, just to keep you on your toes. Who here's ever had a bad day? Who's having one right now? When you have a bad day, and the company says on the poster on the wall, bring 100% of yourself to work, inside you're like, please don't, right? Just for fun, do this. This is the fun part. In your head, think of someone you don't like right now. And when you go see them at work, you're like, oh, if I have to talk to Bob one more time, I swear, if I have to hear about his cute new puppy, right? We need to change first. You can't be intertwined unless you're willing to be a person, faults and all, with everybody. You can't. One of my friends gave me these, and she'll be so excited that I gave him. These are tiny hands. You know what they are? Creepy. So when you come in, you go around the corner, you're like, hey, Caitlin, could you come to my office? She's like, or like, that's a good point. I don't know. Touchdown. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. And you're like, you can't do that. I do this every day. I'll walk around the cubicles and you'll see this little hand go by and they're like, oh, it's the HR guy. Crap. Because it's funny, I'm supposed to bring my whole self to work except the part that's human, right? Because we're there to do work. I'm going to keep these on the whole time. Just to make you go, stop it, cut it out. Play piano. Na, 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 na. You can have so much fun with them. And what we refuse to see is this. This is my new favorite toy. Do you know what this is?
Silly putty.
Oh, see? No. Silly putty was a toy that we used to play with newspapers. Newspapers had paper and print. This is fun.
It's stressful.
No. This is an employee. And the only thing we see on the outside is their form and shape. And even though we don't know quite what they are, we make judgments about them.
And their color.
And their color, excellent. And we put them in a certain category because this, but we forget this. Inside is this. But we never do that because we don't want to take, ooh. See, if I had the tiny hands, I'd have caught that. We don't want to release the inner side of a person because we're afraid if they do that, then we can't keep them in line and control them. And see where this all goes? When I go to my pizzerias, when you work at La Rosa's, how old do you have to be to start to work? 16. When you were 16, what did you think about? Work, right? No, you thought about sex. You should go into my pizzerias. Now, these people are making your food, by the way. And so you're on the pizza line, you're like, sup? So we're like, cut it out! But we tell 16-year-olds that they have to come to work and start following all the rules in our training program. Our training program, by the way, is only this thick. And my GMs are great, because my GMs did this. My GMs are like, is this a good thing? And they're like, yeah, it's the best. We love you. That's best. So I went out to them and go, do you use it? And they're like, absolutely not. It's awful. But they tell corporate what they want to hear, and then they're practicing something different because they're in the field trying to make the job happen. So they're saying 16-year-olds are just miserable. Oh my gosh, the 16-year-olds are awful. How old are our assistant managers? 18. Because like when I was 16, worker, look at this! Just like all you did. If you hear nothing else from me, and it's not on the slides, cut this age stuff out. Older people are incredibly talented and knowledgeable and can work for as long as they should and have incredible value. Younger people aren't millennials that are stupid and self-righteous because you were stupid and self-righteous when you were young too. But doggone it, we split them up because we need to show them how to work. Here's what's cool about the new generation. They're not going to wait. We wait. We suffered. We complained. We muddled through. We pulled up our bootstraps. The new people, I love them, who are like, yeah, jerks, out. They're like, do you have a new job? Nope. Do you have a house? Eh. Do you have everything you're supposed to have? Nope. I'm doing good. I can pass the drug test? New job. No. Who here's failed? Oh, here's more fun. Who here's failed and lied about it? Come on. You're like, so it really wasn't my fault, it was Megan's. You know, Megan was on the team. You ever worked with Megan? Megan's awful. No, it's not true. Megan's wonderful. I just read your name tag. She's like, on the evaluation. Jerk. Anyway. We tell everybody to bring their 100% to work, but never fail. Do a performance review and only get 5s. Right? Everything is built to the top of the curve, even though it's still a curve. The whole bell curve and math thing that we don't think works anywhere except math is work. There are people who are on the top end of that curve, a bunch in the middle, and a bunch that you're like, why do you come in every day? And who stays? The one at the bottom, like, what's up? Like, dang it! I thought today was it. But we don't allow people to fail gracefully. We just don't. Why don't we? Because we're jerks. Well, okay. What's that?
People can't get past blaming others.
People can't get past blaming others. Great point. Here's what I think. We think that if people fail, it's going to just continue and get worse and worse and worse. I'm going to spend so much time coaching you up, that I'll talk about performing well instead of failing. Instead of allowing people to fail, because they're going to. Okay? I graduated my valedictorian. The only B I got, the only one, was from the driver's ed teacher. because we actually took it through school, and we got a class. The first day, my neighbor almost hit a squirrel, slammed on the brakes, the back of the car goes up, comes back down, she got an A. I did not hit a squirrel, or a child, or a sign. He didn't like me because I had kind of a attitude. And I got a B. So instead of graduating with a 4.0, I had a 3.999 whatever. I go, all right. He didn't tell me why, he just did it. Who here's ever heard of OSHA? All the HR people is on a test. What's it stand for? I don't know. OSHA. Just fun to say, OSHA. What do they do? I don't know. OSHA. Right? I worked for a manufacturing company. OSHA visited because it was Tuesday. We didn't have a claim against us. Nothing was going wrong. This guy shows up. I'm 23 years old. I was no longer at the other company that makes toothpaste, in a manufacturing company. And the guy goes, so, where's your OSHA poster? I go, what's an OSHA poster? Again, no internet. HR department of one. Not connected to any other HR people. Didn't know what SHRM or SHRM or anything was. I was a young dude trying to work it out in a non-union facility where guys cussed at me every day to say hello. So when OSHA said, where's the poster? I'm like, I don't know, you got me. He goes, not the right answer. I go, okie doke. He goes, we're gonna go on an inspection. I said, let's do it. So he walked over, he goes, so is this electrical outlet good? I said, I don't know. So he tests it, nope. Then he went through and went boom, 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 boom. $27,000 fine. So I had to go tell my entrepreneur president, hey, this place called OSHA came by and we owe them $27,000. He goes, how are you gonna pay that? I go, I'm in HR. I don't even know what 27,000 means. And he says, well, this is what's gonna happen. Since you didn't know how to do your job, coaching me up, you get to go to the OSHA hearing. Now, the guy in Cincinnati was known nationally, I am not kidding, for being an absolute tyrant. I wore a suit to the, now we work for a place, manufacturing place, we just came in work clothes. I wore a suit that day. And I had all my paperwork, I had done everything he had asked, I had pictures and we had done all the repairs. And he sat me down and just peeled my face off for an hour and a half. And he brought up a point and I hit a point. I brought up a point and I hit a point and brought up a point. And at the end he goes, okay, let's look at your fine. I go, okay. $2,000. He goes, thanks for doing everything. I appreciate it. He says, here's what you need to know. When we come in, we're looking out for the safety of your people. We're not here for compliance. We want you to do the right thing so that people can do their job their best. That's why we have the rules. From now on, I want you to be compliant, but that's why. And I said, yes, sir. I met him several times later. Bill, wonderful man. He did not need to do that with me. So instead of burning me because I failed, he taught me through my failure. What would companies look like if HR did that instead? What would companies look like if HR went to the manager who rips somebody's face off just because they want that pound of flesh? And you say, hey, we don't do that anymore. I want you to teach them through their failure. Would you be willing to do that? And if they say no, they're the ones that lose their job, not the one who failed. Failure is a fact. We need to be able to move past it. Make sense? Okay, way too serious. We're going to try something new. You know what this is? Yes. Magic 8-ball. This makes people crazy and goofy. I have one of these in my office that I can't travel with anymore because it's this big. My kids, who are amazing because they love their father, went to Walmart and go, oh, look, Christmas. So I'm like, oh. I took it to work, and people were like, ah. And what's really funny is all they did was take one of the little ones and put it inside. Big case. But I like it. You know what this is? It's the best HR tool ever. I'll prove it to you. Kendall, gonna keep your job? Doesn't look good. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. And you're like, you can't do that to people. You can. So I did this so often, some students from Wright State University said, you need a better one. So I said, Kendall, gonna lose your job? Signs point to yes. Because they go, oh, it's just positive stuff. Here's what's funny. When you wake up in the morning, are you positive or negative? You're like, what? That's great. I don't really know. I just wake up and go, oh, thank God I woke up. Ooh, if I make it to the bathroom, ha ha. That's great. I don't know if I'm positive or negative. Why don't you know that? You're the first group that's ever said that. Not sure. I'm just kind of ambivalent. Nah. Most people are negative. Oh. I will prove it to you. Terry, who I just met, awesome. Really like her. A lot of fun, very positive. She goes, do you see those potholes? And everybody goes, oh, yeah, freaking potholes. You say, I'm so good with change, except when a pothole shows up, because that ruins my what? Entire day. Or someone cuts me off. You guys drive a lot differently in Pennsylvania. In Cincinnati, we're not good drivers, but we use turn signals. Here you're like moving, you're like, ah! I drove my cousin's car, and a piece of tire hit my window. I went, oh, must be Wednesday or whatever it is. Holy crud! I didn't know where I was going. I'm following my phone on there. I'm just tooling around. People going by telling me how good I am. Hey, you're following the speed limit, idiot. Right? And I'm like, I'm trying to get to Villanova. It's supposed to be a nice school. What kind of evil place is this? Huh? I'm telling you. The majority of the time you wake up in the day, the first thing you think of is everything that's going to go wrong. And every person who's going to take away your time or waste your time or, oh my gosh, if I have to answer this, and we do little to combat it. Little to combat it. This is the biggest failure of the workplace. And you don't even see it. I come in every day just having a ball. I have negative days, and I deal with junk every day, just like you do. But I do things like this. You know what this is? Cowbell. Why? Because you need more cowbell. For the older people, Saturday Night Live, Christopher Walken, best sketch ever. In the sketch, Will Ferrell, who's just insane. I'd love to meet him. I don't know if I'd be safe, but it'd be fun to meet him. And he's this guy in the Blue Oyster Cult band, and in Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper, great song, Don't Fear the Reaper, Blue Oyster Cult, great band. This is so fun. But he sits there and he plays a cowbell. And Christopher Walken, there he's killing it. He goes, no, I need more cowbell. And people lose it. I stole this from an HR conference because that's what HR people do. And we use this when it's time for your anniversary in my office. We had one of those little hotel bells. Okay, now at La Rosa's, I am not kidding you. Last month I celebrated a 20-year, a 30-year, a 40-year, and a 25-year in the pizza business. We're a different cat. And so people would come out and go, it's Bob's anniversary. Hi, Bob, come on out. And we're really quiet. Bob, 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 Bob. So I'm like, ha, 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 ha. I take this, stand in the hall, and just ring it. And they're like, oh, anniversary time. And we're selling people who've been with us 40 years. We've only been in business 65. I have a guy who delivered pizzas for 55 years. He came to your house to have you complain about the crust being wrong. For 55 years. He didn't get paid a lot. So what I've learned through osmosis is we want people to come and be who they are, and we celebrate them and have fun with them. Because where I want us to work is on people's capacity. Remember when I talked about self-awareness? People who are in HR, I think, have a large bucket. And it's overflowing all the time. But you say, I'm busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Because I have to deal with the people in da-da-da-da-da-da. Again, makes you want to go in the field. Instead of saying, look at the bucket I have. Quick test. Who says they don't have enough time? Just be honest. Okay, I'll start with one. Who here is a human? You got to raise your hand for everyone. Who here is a parent or knows a parent? Who here has a child or was a child or knows a child? Who here had a job, wants to have a job, or works in some form or fashion? Who here is involved in their community in some form or fashion? Who here has come away from a place and come to an event for students to celebrate them tonight? I love the people who didn't raise their hand. You're the people who go, I don't know what I do in the morning. Anyway. Okay? Now, who here watches Game of Thrones? I don't care if you do or not. The Voice. Let's pick another one. American Idol. YouTube videos. Instagram. Facebook. Twitter. LinkedIn. I don't have any time. I'm so busy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You have more than you know what to do with. You just don't know what your capacity is because you complain about the stuff that you see that's negative instead of saying, I can do more and more and more. At one point in my life, head of HR, scoutmaster, father, husband, 4 committees at church, did the school announcements or the broadcast for my daughter's basketball team and high school games, head of the HR chapter, ran the state conference. Which part of those is my job? All of them. Yes! But we talk about what we do at work based on the little name tag that sits on our chest. You are so much more than that. And so is everybody who comes to work. And yet that's not how you look at them. We need to understand people's capacity and fill their bucket in an appropriate way. Because that sounds kind of dirty. You're like, people like to laugh. So this is how you do it. Clear your mind of can't. HR people are notorious for this. You can't do that. Let me give you a true story. Terrible story. Please understand this in context. A guy in my men's group is the manager of a bank. So he does not have a college degree, nor do any of his tellers. One of his tellers was, her son was sitting in downtown Dayton last week, sitting in his car. And somebody came by and shot the people that were on the sidewalk and hit him in the car and killed him. HR said he had to ask for more than 3 days bereavement leave. Because HR said, well, I give you more than 3 days. Everyone will more than 3 days. There should be no bereavement policies. None. If someone dies, let them grieve. Give them counseling. Do something. If you're so hung up on 3 freaking days, they're going to take 3 other days off and you won't even know it. Just because they hate you. What if you gave her the days she needed, took care of her, and allowed her to take the time to grieve her son and come back to work when she could on a flexible schedule if it worked for her? And you worked with her until she was able to come back full time. how likely would she stay? So, and how hard would she work? But if we say can't, none of that happens. Right? HR has to get rid of this. We have to talk about what can we do? How can we do? If we can't do it, what's an alternative? And understand this. If you read my book, which you got today, I practice HR differently. I practice HR by individual, not collectively. In my 13 years, I've released 4 policies. 4. And one was to improve PTO. The second one was to wear jeans at work.
Nice.
So 2 for 4. They're like, dude, give me your card. Yes! I stumbled on this because for years, until I came to La Rosa's, I was the camp person. There are times when you need to say no. No is okay, but do it for the right reason. Instead of saying, I lead with this. Too often we lead with this because we don't know what to do. I would rather ask for grace from somebody to give me a little time to figure out a solution. The second thing is this. I'm sorry. I love this quote. The best gift you can give someone is your time, because you're giving them something you can never get back. At my pizzerias, how much of a day is someone dealing with people? The entire day. And my managers will tell me how hard it is to give someone their time. And I said, cool, let's try this. So we had a guy from operations, because operations are smart, wonderful people. They really are. They're great. And they know things and processes I just don't understand. And they develop things that really work efficiently. So we had a contest. I had a 16-year-old make a pizza. He had a 16-year-old make a pizza. He said, all right, 16-year-old, who's thinking about sex, follow the chart. 1, 1.1, 1.2. And okay, it's pizza. Dough, sauce, cheese, toppings, oven. 5 steps. Not once did he talk to him. My 16-year-old, I go, hi, what's your name? David. Hey, David, is this your first job? Yeah. Do you think about sex all the time? No. What brought you to La Rosa's? The other guy, oh, I can. I'm the head of HR. I can do what I want. Ha, ha, ha. No. I said, so what's going on? I said, hey, you know what? We got to make a pizza. I don't know how to make a pizza. Can you make a pizza? He's like, yeah, I can. I go, cool, show me. He goes, well, first take the dough. I go, is that the dough? He goes, it is. You're an idiot. I go, I know. Here, you put the sauce on. How much sauce do you put on there? He goes, a spoodle. I go, spoodle. He goes, you're a dork. A spoodle is just a big spoon. And it measures out the right sauce. It portions it. On the chart, it tells you portion the sauce. I'm teaching him to pick up the spoon. He does this. He puts on cheese. It was just a pepperoni pizza, so he counted out the pepperoni after he weighed them because he knew exactly what to do. Whose pizza was better? Should be. The guy from operations pizza was better. Perfect. Which kid had a better time? David. I saw the other guy going, help me. I want to be with him. Get me away from this guy. How much time did it take for me to invest in that kid? 5 minutes. And he had a great experience doing a job where he'll have to be standing on his feet for 8 hours a day on concrete in non-slip shoes. Printing ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket in a mundane, repetitive job. He's 16. In 5 minutes, he went home and said, hey, I make pizzas. I met this guy. He's dumb. God. And I'll walk through and they're like, hey. He's like, dummy. He's a supervisor now. And training people. What happened to the other kid? He left. I want to talk to you differently about diversity. Who here in the room is different? I mean, come on, Oprah said it. She did. You're all unique, every one of you. And everyone went, I am. You're like, you are. You need to change your thinking that diversity is a fact, not a program. It's not a 10-step thing. It's not a white versus black versus gay versus straight versus da-da-da. That's the law. And you need to follow the law because it's the law. But you don't have to have a diversity program. You just have to allow people to be different. Does that make sense? How hard is that? And yet we can't do it. So we have diversity committees. And the diversity committee goes, hey, we need to have one more of these, one more of those, and 4 more of these. Are they good people and good employees? Don't know, but we met our numbers. Everybody goes, woo! Analytics, analytics, analytics. I have met some of the most amazing people in my life who is Joy, because she's Joy, or Caitlin, because she's Caitlin, or Ennio, because he's Ennio. Ennio and I connected on LinkedIn. And he comes and goes, hey, we're connected on LinkedIn. It's nice to meet you. And I was like, stalker? No.
Hey, you reached out to me.
I did.
You did.
I did. I think you need to value people for who they are because they're different.
Thank you.
Yes. Does that make sense? How much different would our workforce look today and our HR departments look today if we just valued people because of who they were? So, I've done this before, but this is the best thing I ever do. Who here is bad with names? Okay, they give name tags out for a reason. You know that, right? So who wants to be a volunteer? I promise it won't be bad. No, students don't count. Oh, wait, no, you. Yes, the one who said I would be bad. Come on. Brittany, come on. Brittany's like, I don't know if you'll be good or not. All right, give it up for Brittany. You are such fakers. You're like, give it up for Brittany. People cheered for Tiger Woods like they know him. Ah, Tiger! He's like, put that down. All right, so this is how you remember names. Ready? I'm going to teach you. You come up, you introduce yourself, and you say their name 3 times once you introduce them. Okay, so it's like this. Hi, I'm Steve, and you are?
Brittany.
Brittany, 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 Brittany. That's creepy. Don't do that. Don't. Creepy. So you do this. You go, hi, I'm Steve, and you are?
Brittany.
Brittany, where do you go to school?
Villanova.
So in Villanova, you're in the HRD program. What are you trying to study in there? Is there a specialty?
HR business partner.
HR business partner. And as an HR business partner, do you want to work for a small company, a large company, or a medium-sized company?
Medium to large.
Medium to large, and where? What part of the country do you want to work, Brittany?
In this area.
Okay, I'm from Cincinnati. What the hell does that mean? Brittany, I want to work in a 5-mile radius. Give me a town.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Very good. All right, that's it. All right, you're done. All right. Where does she go to school? What does she want to be? Where does she want to work? The next time you see her,
Hi, Brittany.
you know 3 things about her. Here's why we don't remember names. It's the same thing we don't remember time. You don't care to know someone else's name. It's not a matter of I can't do people's names. You don't care. And you're like, that's harsh. It's true. Because you're more worried about something else or a deadline or a this. When I went to OU, my friends would stop walking to class with me because I said hi to every single person up to class by name. And I knew who they were and what they did and what they studied. And then I'd walk back. And then my friends are like, we're going to be drinking ketchup. But it's important to remember people because you need to remember this. If someone's name isn't important enough to remember, get out of HR. Get out. You're in the people business. So work on it. Okay? When I go to SHRM National, there are 22,000 people. I try to meet them all. They're like, oh no, it's the extrovert. Like, come here, come here, come here, come here. Like, no, he's going to know my name. Here's the next thing. Allow grace. We don't do it. You said it earlier, what was your name, I'm sorry? Janet. Janet said about, we're looking for blame. Wait, who's else? It was Kristen. I blame you. Anyway. We don't allow grace. It's funny, when I started work at La Rosa's, one of the tenets of the company is allow grace. And the whole thing is, everybody's going to disappoint everybody. It's just a matter of time and when. So when they do, give them a little grace and help them through it. It makes your company a better place. I wish more people would do it naturally, but for some reason we have to tell you. But please, please, please do this for people. Because it means this. Now, I just remembered. I don't remember my slides. Connor said, do you plan this? I'm like, no. See over my finger? That's the giant 8 ball. Yeah, it's that big. But a friend of mine, Brad Galen, went out and went to a store that's their slogan, and he found the sticker and he sent it to me. He says, I thought of you. And I went, that's awesome. He goes, when I think of you, this is what I see. Now that is a testimony. I didn't ask him to get me a sticker, right? Or make some self-proclaimed successories poster on the wall that says, fly with the eagles, stay away from the turkeys. Oh. Be good to people. I think a lot of what we do is simpler than we make it. We don't have to wrap ourselves only in policies and procedures and programs. If you're good to somebody, it's amazing what'll happen. I met Brian, who's the camera person. I met Emily, who's the person who helps out in the facility here, and Jim, who took care of the microphones. And I met the 2 bartenders, Janet and, can't remember his other name. Oh, well, there goes the whole program. Way to go, no credibility, ha ha! Everywhere I go, I meet the people that help people. Because I work in an industry with servers and not one of them say hi to you, or you say hi to them. You worry about your time or your food, what if the order's right, and what the check's about. And they introduce themselves, and they have name tags on. You're like, yeah, mojito. I know you, you're in HR. I introduced myself, and I learned that from a person called my dad. Because I don't know if you have them out here. Do you have Bob Evans restaurants out here?
They're around.
Bob Evans is country. You walk in, they're like, hey. You're like, hey. That's it. How many in your party? All y'all. Let's go. We go sit down, and my dad, every time, would talk to the server. Every time. And my brother and I were like, Dad, cut it out. I just want rolls. Cut it out. Every time. And my dad has never tipped 20%. Ever. 20 would be low. Because he said, look, that young lady took care of us today, and we didn't have to cook. And someone probably wasn't nice to her. So I thought I would be. And we're like, well, Dad, if you'd only be nice to us. Different story. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. If you do nothing else today, the young students that are going to be awarded the prize for the graduate program, one of you who are experienced business people, you should find one of those people and say, hi, I'd like to help you out. Not give them a job, help them out. You need a mentor your entire career, not when you start, all the way through. Fred, who's in the book, is my mentor. Fred is 74. He started in HR when it was abacus days and stone tablets. And everybody fought everybody, and everything was a grievance. I mean, that's what it was. You know, it's like dog fighting. And Fred is my dearest, dearest friend. He calls me every week. Every week. He called me to say, hey, I heard you're going to Villanova. Kill it. I'm like, who is this? No. I have a mentor, and here's my rule. You can't be a mentor unless you have a mentor. Because if you're just the person at the top of the tree, that somebody sits at your feet, that's just arrogant and narcissistic. Someone should learn from you as much as you should learn from somebody. Young people going into work, tell them when you go in the interview, will I have a mentor? And I'm challenging you. If you don't, I would question working there. And this isn't, hey, I have a buddy. I need someone who's going to show me the ropes. Tell me when I'm fail. Help me to grow farther. Help me when I leave the company and go somewhere else. You need a mentor. Okay, we're almost done. Who here knows people, not yourself, who here knows people that aren't in your family? Who here met somebody new tonight? Cool. You know how many people network? Percentage-wise? I don't know, it's just fun to hear numbers. It's not big. This is why. People network why? When they need something. And what they usually need? A job. And when you get a job, what do? Go to work. I don't have time for this stuff. Go to work. Learned this a long time ago. And I'm just going to say these numbers just to say them. Please understand it's way out of kilter. On LinkedIn, I have over 20,000 connections globally. On Twitter, I have over 42,000 followers, which is about 42,000 more than my son, so I'm killing him. But I know most of those people. I have a network that I can go anywhere and meet somebody I know. I'm a freak. I know that's not normal. It's back to capacity. But here's what's weird. I'm in Philadelphia Airport trying to figure it out. I walked, I think, 3.5 miles to the luggage thing. I'm like, there's this baggage claim. I'm going, after the first mile, I'm like, liars, liars, liars. Because I'm positive. Anyway, went down there, got my bag, and there were only like 3 of us that actually put luggage on the plane. And this person comes up and grabs my arm. She goes, are you Steve Browne? And I go, who wants to know? I go, yeah, I am. She says, I'm in HR. I go, that's awesome. She goes, my name's Tracy. I work for Fresh Market. And she goes, and I read about you all the time. And I just wanted to say I really appreciate that you're out there and you're being positive. And I don't know if anybody tells you that or not, but I just thought I'd say yes. And so you have a good time in Philadelphia, and I'm going to go, because we're having an anniversary at our Fresh Market place, and I'm here to see our people. I go, that's awesome. In an airport in Philadelphia. Someone I've never met who's from Cincinnati. Okay? Networking matters. This is why. Knowing people is the best thing you can ever do in your life. Because knowing somebody could lead to something you've never seen and opportunities you've never known, and it won't benefit you that you know about it. I hear stories all the time about people who read my book. My favorite one is this. Hello, Steve. I'm from Lithuania. I'm like, cool. Read your book. Changed my life. Yes. Really like HR. Thank you. Tanya. I'm like, I wrote a book about what I do, and it influenced somebody in Latvia, Lithuania. I mean, come on. Have a network on purpose. Know people because you need to. Because the career you have is no one else's. I wish young people would learn this. I wish middle-aged people would learn this. I wish older people would learn this. My career is my career. It's not your responsibility. It's mine. We've lost that. We don't teach that anymore. We talk about getting jobs and taking posts and filling roles. I've been with La Rosa's 13 years, and I had this conversation with the owner. Mike's been with her whole life because his last name's La Rosa. But my boss has been there 43 years. And he comes up and he says, so, we need to talk about retirement. I go, mine? He goes, no, mine. I said, that's great. I said, I really want to help, and we're going to have a huge wave after retirement. We really are. I'm kind of scared about it. But when we retire, we go from 30, 40-year people to 10, 15-year people, which is great. But they go, well, you've only been here 13 years. I go, I'm not as young as you think I am. They go, oh, yeah, you've only been here 13 years, because we do La Rosa's math. It's tenure. We don't really look at how old you are. And I said, no, I'm probably going to leave soon, too. And he goes, yeah, we knew you would. We actually had a conversation this week about how we need to get rid of people because tenure is killing us. And the people have been amazing, and I love them, and we'll figure it out. But what we've allowed people to do is we've taken over their career at La Rosa's because that's all they've ever known. So in trying to do good, we've actually hindered some people. And so I'm trying to break it up and have people leave. That's good HR. You need to remember your career is no one else's but your own. Because, you know who this is? Does anybody not know who ACDC is? If one of you graduate students raise your hand, do not pass any of them. Not one. ACDC, I don't know, batteries? No. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, oh, the best. Here's why it matters. Last story. When I was in charge of the Ohio SHRM HR conference, the theme was HR rocks. And I said, this is what I want. I want to have a stage with a catwalk and speakers on things. And I want to come out dressed as Angus Young from AC/DC. And I want drumsticks on the table, and I want everybody to pick it up and start beating the table with drumsticks. And I said, and we're not telling the facility people, we're just doing it. And so my committee is like, this is awesome. This is rock and roll. This is so subversive. So people came, and here's these beautiful flower pieces with drumsticks. And you see some people go, hey, cool. Hey, drumsticks are what? Weapons. You know, and HR people are what? Frustrated. So you put a weapon in a person's hand. So anyway, I didn't tell my entire committee. I only told the people that put it up. So what are you going to do? What's going to go? What are you doing? I'm not telling you. One of our speakers, Mark Stelzner, has a voice for radio. I mean, he's got this beautiful, gorgeous baritone voice. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, and we're like, oh. Then the fog lights came on, and fog starts going all over. He goes, pick up those drumsticks right now, and they're like, oh, you know. And they're like, he goes, and pound them on the table, and they went nuts. And they go, and here he is, and I came out, and the song Thunderstruck, oh my gosh, best song ever. And it's a huge guitar solo by Angus Young, and I came out in the little Catholic boy outfit that was not big enough. And when I got to the head of the stage, I looked out, and we had our conference in Sandusky, Ohio. There's nothing in Sandusky, except Cedar Point. You know. But in Sandusky, I grabbed the microphone, and I go, hello, Sandusky! And people went, ah! It was like, this is the best feeling ever. And I said, I want you to know that HR rocks. And one of my guys at work rewrote the song to Thunderstruck. And he says, when it comes to Thunderstruck, he goes, and you know HR rocks. And then he sang it. Because he's the lead singer in a band. I'm like, oh. Everybody still talks about that conference and that opening. They can't tell you if they got credit hours or if there were even speakers. But like, you remember that opening? God, that opening was good. And the guy who was the speaker after me, he's like, really? I'm okay. And he came out and he was better than, I've seen him, he's a national speaker. He was better than he's ever been. Here's what I want you to do. You have a chance to make HR rock every day and set the stage for people. It's just a matter of, will you be the person who is willing to dress up, who's willing to take the stage and lead the charge to yell people to come and do it with you. I'm done. So let me tell you one thing before you do your thing. I'm going to give away that lava lamp. You're like, hell yeah. That's why I came. Here's the rule. If you win, you take it to your dorm room or your office and you take a picture and show me, especially if you win it in your office. Take it to your office, turn it on. I want to see that you did it. Second thing is that, and Bethany's going to tell you, up here, there's a thing called the HR net. Over here. You're going to get an email from me. I'm going to thank you for coming, because it does matter that you chose to come, because you didn't need to come. I really appreciate it. You should be here to support the students, not hear some guy from Cincinnati. And I'm going to give you a resource where you can post and answer questions for HR and events, and I write a song that makes fun of HR every week. Some of you will opt out and not take it, and I'm cool with that. But understand, I'm going to send it to you. I would love to add you to it, because I used to ask people to join, and then no one would join. Now I don't ask. I don't. And if you want to opt out, I'm absolutely cool with it. But I think you'll love it. This week's song was Heartache Tonight by the Eagles. And for nothing else, people are learning more music. You know? So I wanted you to know up front that you're going to do that.